let me wind up with this story, because if anybody puts it into practice, and it's one of my favorite to tell, it's this guy. His name is Fred Morris. He is what many people would call a greeter at Hy-Vee in Maryville, Missouri. And Fred really isn't the greeter. He's just usually around the front. He's usually in charge of all what we would call the stock boys, the guys that would, stock the shelves. Well, if you walk into the Maryville Hy-Vee, there's a good chance that Fred's going to walk up and introduce himself, which is kind of odd. But he will walk up and say, "Hey, I'm Fred," and you'll give him your name. And Fred works at names. He was wearing a little apron there, and he has a pad of paper. If he needs to write down names, he will, but he rarely works at it. He used to work in the newspaper business, so he got to be good at names. He'll remember your name, and there's a good chance the next time you walk in, he'll call you by name. Fred comes to work a little bit early. In the break room at Hy-Vee, they subscribe to all the local newspapers and a couple of the more daily ones like St. Joe, Kansas City, so forth. He reads the articles, but he especially looks at a lot of the pictures and the captions. He'll read the anniversaries and the births and the deaths and so forth. If you had a kid make the honor roll, he'll call you by name, call the kid by name, and they say congratulations on the honor roll. If you've had a death in the family, many times he will walk over to the floral department. He'll say, "I'll buy a rose," because he said, after all, it only costs $3.23. He'll hand him a rose. You don't know how many people in Ottaway County, Missouri have told me Fred came through the receiving line at the visitation or the wake. And Fred will say, "Well, they were my customer. They were my customer's family. That's what I should do." Some people found that Fred played guitar on the side. And so some of the older folks in the Maryville area began to put in their notes upon their death that they would like Fred to play at the funeral, which is a little different request. And the day I took this picture, Fred said, "Yeah," he said, "I've got a funeral today, or tomorrow," he said. The lady, he mentioned the lady's name, said, "Really helpful. She's put down the song she wanted me to play." He said, "So many times they don't list the song," and he said, "I don't know if it's the right song or not." He said, "She listed the song," but he said, "More trouble. Never played the song before." He said, "Really having to practice." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, what song she want played?" And she said, "Well, does it seem odd to you? She wanted something by Willie Nelson." And I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "What song is it?" And he said, "She wanted "On the Road Again" by Willie Nelson, sung at her funeral." So that's what he was doing. Northwest Missouri State's at Maryville, and Fred has another problem. Foreign exchange students come in, they don't speak English fluently, and they're a little shy to asking questions. They're looking for items maybe from their homeland. And so Fred went to the registrar's office in Northwest Missouri State and said, "You know what?" He said, "I need to know all the countries these students are coming from." They knew Fred. They knew what he was up to. They gave him the information. Now he goes over to the language arts department. He knows all the professors. They're his customers. He goes to them and says, "I need to learn phrases in all these different languages." And so now he has something for every single foreign exchange student. If you're a Japanese student, I say he goes into his little Japanese routine. He runs to the front of the store. He bows. He says, "Konnichiwa," and then he welcomes you to Hy-Vee in Japanese, all right? And he also has a greeting as you go out the door for all these different languages. 2 major grocery stores in Maryville, Walmart Supercenter, Hy-Vee. You can take a guess which one's doing more business, all right? And I laugh with folks. I mean, why wouldn't you go there? I mean, man knows your name. He knows 10 different languages, and if you die, he's going to come play at your funeral. And so perhaps we come back around to this, that it is sometimes hard to quantify the numbers truly behind personal and purposeful leadership. But we do know from things like the Fortune 100 study and so forth that these things do make a difference. But I like to think they just make life that much different. They just make life so much richer.